Hello, my name is Visor, and last episode we made our first game. Psht Alohoya looked like it was going to do pretty well. I'm not sure how well it's going to sell yet, because I gotta start my next project. We gotta keep the money going, you know? Now, the next suggestion I got was from Dragoon Boom. And he took sort of an idea from the sort of demo video, except took it somewhere weird. He says, I think the Wombat game is a pretty good idea. We can base it around abortions and unplanned pregnancies in teenagers. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to say about that. I think I want to go with it, except not focus so much around the abortions and unplanned pregnancies. Maybe have it as a horror game about bats popping out of wombs, like wombats or something like that. But the problem is currently our topics are not very fitting for that. Let's do some research, see what we can get. Yes, I know. I turned tutorials off. I don't know why it's still doing this. This is kind of irritating. Let's check our new topic. Ideally, if I had horror, that would be pretty cool. But it doesn't look like that's an option. If we want to do something about bats popping out of wombs, what would the best option be? I guess it's more fantasy, right? Maybe? Yeah, let's research fantasy. We'll go with that. Now, research, of course, depends on your research points. And to research topics, it takes 10 research points. Later on, we're going to be able to research more complicated things. But until then... Oh, cool. Our previous game is still selling really well. Alright, so now we have fantasy. Let's develop our next game. So, I'm pretty sure I want to do wombats. Maybe we should throw an adjective in front of that. But what would be good? Death wombats? Yeah, let's go with that. Death wombats. I don't know if that's original or bizarre, but we're going with it. Our topic is going to be fantasy. Really, it should be nightmare, but what are we going to do? Should we do this as an adventure game or an action game? If we do this as an adventure game, I guess this time we could make it a text-based game that at least would make it a little different. Or we could just go for a different genre and make it an action game. It seems like it could be a nice action platformer. Let's go with that. Pick the platform. Comparing with the market share from last time, the G64 has actually gained market share. And we can afford it to keep developing on it, so let's go for that. As an action game, can you even do a text-based action game? Maybe one of those word blasters or whatever, but for this, let's do 2D graphics. Alright, so based on our initial selection, we got 1 point in design and 1 point in technology. Now, for an action game, I don't think the storylines and quests are that important. Of course, you want something there, but I would think gameplay would be a bigger deal, as well as the engine. I mean, everything's going to be based on the engine, right? You know, like the combat and the platforming, sort of the two important parts of an action platformer, you know? Alright, here we go. A lot of bugs, not many features yet, though. We got a lot of design points, though. And I think we might need more technology points. Now, this is just a hypothesis, but I would think an action game would need a different mix compared to an adventure game. Probably need more tech backing it up, while an adventure or an RPG could probably be carried more by the story. So let's drop the dialogue a little. Let's make some really good levels. Let's have the enemies be a little intelligent. That could be fun. Oof, we're still not getting many points in technology. Alright, so the world, it's not as important as an adventure game, I don't believe. Let's bump up the sound, as well as our basic sounds will let us, and bump up the graphics. I think that's the way to go. Game is off the market. Not bad at all. Made us a lot of money. We should check the stats later on. No, I shouldn't check the stats. I'm gonna do that in the previous video. What am I talking about? Oof. I don't know. Looks like the G64 is doing well. Better than the PC. I think we know what's gonna happen though. Also, I think that's a DeLorean for time travel reasons. Anyway. We saw a lot of bugs. I don't know. I don't know if this is a good ratio of design with technology. We'll see what happens. But I'm a little worried about that. Granted, this is just our second game. We're still just collecting data. A few more technology points. I'm good with that. I think overall, though, this does not beat our score from last time. I'm pretty sure it's lower. And from what I understand about the game, your rating is not based solely on your design and technology points. They're important, but your last game's score is also very important. If your last game was amazingly good and your new game is kind of shit, it's not good for you. Oh, so it looks like our design was actually higher than last time. Our tech was definitely not as high. But again, fantasy action is a great combo, so that's interesting. And so far, nothing has leveled up. So we'll just release the game and see what happens. Let's see. Oof. Looks like this was not as good as our last game. Now, if your previous game score turns out to be a factor, this will make it harder to figure out how the system works. But I'm pretty sure we can figure it out in the end. Anyway, let's see how well Death Wombats does. Alright, so as you can see, I don't think we did nearly as well. In terms of pure profit, we made about half the profit of our first game. But here's the big issue. I don't think this counts the upkeep cost of your apartment. So really, all we made is 5 months worth of rent. Remember, your apartment costs $8K. So there's a chance we actually made no profit on this game, or actually lost money. It's kind of hard to tell at this point. But yeah, we need to do better next time. But until then, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon.